What's up, everyone? I'm Fuopi, and today I'm going to be showing you the previous attempt I made at making a Toki Pona learning world in VRChat. So, in my previous devlog, I showed my current sort of iteration on this project that I'm very happy with. One of the challenges of making language learning things for social VR for me has always been, how do I have people talk in the language, but also teach the language? They're kind of like, studying has always kind of like conflicted with using. And so this world is more follows like the studying kind of approach by starting with a traditional lecture and uses like VRChat persistence for like flashcards and stuff like that. And yeah, let's take a look through it right now. So we'll start off with the lecture. I won't play the whole thing. Just hit me up if you do want like a tour of the world at any time. Just hit me up on like Mastodon or Blue Sky or something like that, and I'll send you an invite to the world. But yeah. Anyway, let's get started with the lecture. Yeah. What's up, everyone? Today we're going to talk about Toki Pona. So, Toki Pona is a constructed language. It was invented by Canadian linguist Jan Sonia in the year 2001. Her goal when creating Toki Pona was a personal challenge, to see if it was possible to express the human experience with just 120 words. She posted about it online, and over the years, people began to experiment with it, learn it, and even speak it. In 2014, the first official book was released. This book snapshotted the language as it was at the time. New learners can use this snapshot as a starting point, then start exploring the ways the language has evolved. Anyway, let's start speaking Toki Pona now. Here's how you say hello. Toki.
Toki.
Give it a shot.
Toki.
Nice.
Woo.
Now, here's the next thing you want to know. Say you're stuck in some conversation and you want to go, yeah, For that, you could just use the word for good. That word is Pona. Give it a shot.
Pona.
Sick. All right, so now you basically know half the language with just those two words. You can make people like you by saying Toki for hello, and you can get through boring situations by going, Pona. Pona also works as an expression of thanks and just general goodwill. As mentioned earlier, Toki Pona has only 120 words, at least in the 2014 version, which is what we're using today. Because there are so few words, we have to be a little bit flexible in how we use them. For instance, we don't have words for specific types of fruits, like apples and bananas. But we do have a word for fruit in general. So how about these apples? How might we describe them in Toki Pona? Well, the simplest way is to use our word for fruit, and that word is kili. 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 The word kili can refer to this apple, but it can also refer to bananas or any other type of fruit. If we wanted to distinguish it from those bananas right over there, we could just point and say kili ni, these fruits, or just point to the other fruits and say kili ni, those fruits. Ni is the word for this or that. But we could also be descriptive with our word choice. This apple is red, so we could call it kili loye. Apple red. And for bananas, we could say kili yellow. Fruit yellow. Yellow fruit. Shape is another way to describe things. The apple, you could call it a kili sike. Sike means circular, so fruit circular. Or the banana could be kili palisa, fruit stick or stick-like, a stick-like fruit.
Anyway, so I'll stop it right there, but that's the basic concept of this world. It's more of like you do the lesson, you do sort of like an assignment, and then you practice. And this world actually has a story, and the framing of it goes like this. You wake up one night and your worst nightmare has come true. That's right. You're back in university and you're in a class you didn't remember signing up for. To make matters worse, you don't even speak the language of that institution. So, what do? To prepare for your presentation, your friends are willing to help you. And so you got one of your friends over here is like a TA, and they're willing to coach you through the language of Toki Pona. And there are going to be 3 chapters to this: university, and then train, and then finally the presentation where you're at a academic conference, literally people coming up to you and you like dialogue choice. The whole motivation behind this story comes from my own personal experience traveling to Japan and attending an event called VRChat Real. That VRChat is virtual market. And at that event, I handed out a magazine that I write in Toki Pona about VRChat. And this magazine, we printed it and we were in Akihabara and handing out copies to anybody who comes by. It was a lot of fun. And my friends in Japan were super supportive with, they helped me cut and fold the magazines and helped when I barely speak Japanese, but they coached me though through just enough to be able to like hold my own a little bit when I was presenting at a booth. And so this world is kind of modeled after my preparation experience for that event. Anyway, at the end of the lecture, our character here says this. He says, Toki Pona, so as you've seen, Toki Pona is a descriptive language. You use many simple words. You can use simple words to describe pretty much any concept. And just think about what you're trying to communicate. So how about this? I'm going to hand you a camera and you take pictures of 10 objects around the world. Go find things and see what names you can come up with. Good luck. And so you get the camera and it's time to walk around. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you exit, I only implemented 3 test objects in this first version. They're super primitive objects, but that's whatever. Anyway, so you open up the little menu, take out the camera, and I have it recognize what you're looking at. So let's make it so it only points at the sphere, for example, all right? And it would be something like a printer or like a cash register in reality that you wouldn't be taking pictures of primitive geometric shapes. But anyway, so then once you've got your thing that you want to take a photo of in focus, you click it, and then it gives you a little MS Paint drawing of the object, and then you can type like, it's literally CK, right? You type something, I don't know, CK Muzi. We'll just put that for now. And then you save it as a new term to your personal dictionary of things that you've recognized. And Toki Pona, there's multiple ways to say things. So you can take a picture of it again, and you can say like, I don't know, CK Lily. And everyone's gonna come up with new terms because that's just how Toki Pona is. Really depends on context, how you refer to objects. People like to use the word non-lexicalized, right? And yeah. Anyway, that all gets saved because of VRChat's persistence feature. And so when you come back to this world later, all of your definitions that you came up with will be stored. Aside from that, though, I also made a general language study application to this world as well. So there's a dictionary, and you can scroll through, see the Sitsulan Pona, and add cards to your Earth flashcard deck. And how that sort of works is when you go back to the language menu, you study the cards in your Earth deck. There they are. And then start studying. What does this word mean in English? Lasso. Oh, blue-green. I got it right. Woo. What does it mean? Ma. Oh, that was pretty good. I'm going to move it to the sun deck because I know. Yeah, and then you move it to different. Sun deck is stuff you're good at. Moon deck is like, I need to improve. And then there's like a quiz that at the end that people are going to take, and I'll just skip through all the answers, blah, 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 blah. Gives you a little report. Yeah. Anyway, so that was what I worked on. I was pretty happy with it because at the time it seemed like it was a really inspirational like time, because I was like, yeah, I'm making like an adventure map. People are gonna learn the language. I'm drawing from personal experience, you know. But then I kind of like got a little bit stuck because it doesn't feel like VRChat playing this world. I feel like I'm playing a single player game, not really. I couldn't figure out how to make it both social and learning, and it never felt right to me. So yeah, I ended up I don't know, I just ended up like not following through with it all the way. But that's just kind of how it goes. But yeah. And then as like a fun little side note, the story was going to be such that, so like as you do walk around the world, right, you take photos of stuff. But as I said earlier on, it's your worst nightmare has come true. So when you take a photo of like the cash register, for example, then you'll see like a little mocap animation play of two people speaking Toki Pona. And then they'll like, that's how you learn the language, through hearing it, is like watching these little ghosts. And then you have to kind of like figure out what happened, right? You don't have to, you can just do the assignment and go to the next chapter, but it's a fun personal replay value. Like, why would you want to come back to this world? You know, I want to figure out what the heck happened in that university, you know? Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it though. Anyway, yeah, thanks for checking it out. I guess I'll post some more devlogs. It's kind of fun talking about unfinished projects or like how things evolved. But anyway, mitawa. Have a good one.